If there's anything that my friends know about me, it's that I love space. But for as much as I love space, not a single one of them could pay me enough to go up there myself. Why do I say that? Well, it's because space is super dangerous. There's no air, there's no protection from solar radiation from the air, there's super extreme temperatures, and most of all, there's no gravity. Well, it's not exactly that there is no gravity, it's just that the gravity in space is much weaker than Earth's. And since our bodies have evolved under Earth's gravity, they don't fare well up there long term. Through several studies, NASA's found that in microgravity environments, people face much higher risks of heart and kidney issues, coordination problems, and most crucially, loss of musculoskeletal density. Losing muscle and skeletal mass is a really big deal because your bones kind of support your whole body. If you stay in space for too long and come back to Earth, it might feel like your skeleton forgot how to hold itself together. Kind of like Harry Potter's arm in the second movie, but your entire body. Hi, my name is Tristan, and today we'll be looking at an experimental treatment for musculoskeletal density loss, currently in clinical trials known as BMP-2 regenerative ossification. The BMP part of BMP-2 stands for bone morphogenetic protein, and the 2 is an indicator of which protein it is in that BMP family. BMP-2 is a protein that occurs naturally in the body, known to stimulate bone growth and development. It has been tested here on Earth, and could be used to decrease the rate of bone density loss in space. So how does it work? Well, let's break it down. When BMP-2 enters the body, it just kind of floats around looking for a cell with a pair of receptors to bind onto. This pair of receptors consists of a type 1 and a type 2 receptor. The type 2 receptor activates the type 1 receptor once the BMP protein has binded to it. That type 1 receptor phosphorylates, or sends a phosphate group, to a bunch of proteins inside that cell known as SMAD proteins, or SMAD proteins. The specific RSMADs, or receptor-regulated SMAD proteins involved, are SMAD1, 5, and 8. Now activated, this collection of proteins joins with another protein known as SMAD4 to form a bundle known as a SMAD complex. This fully formed sort of protein Voltron binds to the nucleus at specialized SMAD binding elements, also known as SBEs. And from here, it can kind of whisper into the ear of the nucleus to activate the genes that command the cell to transform into an osteoblast. What's an osteoblast then? Well, osteoblasts are the types of cells responsible for building and repairing bone matter. And that's kind of the focus of the BMP-2 treatment, is to generate those osteoblasts that can then help generate or regenerate bone area in places where it may be damaged. And as you can imagine, this could prove super helpful to people in space. Let's say, for example, that you're an astronaut conducting research on the moon. And at this point, because you've been out there for so long, your bone density is greatly decreased. So one day while collecting moon rocks for NASA, you trip and you break your arm or something. Typically, this kind of injury would be enough to send you back to Earth because the risk of you developing further injuries while you're out there would greatly increase. However, the hope with this treatment, the BMP-2 regenerative ossification treatment, would be to help put you back on your feet as an astronaut so that you could get back out there and keep picking up rocks without having to send a replacement. This kind of treatment could lead to super exciting missions that are otherwise way too dangerous to be genuinely considered right now, like human missions to Mars, for example, being way more viable. However, applications for BMP-2 treatment and similar treatments in space are currently in their infancy, so it might be some time before they see any practical use up there. Well, let's just say I'm not an astronaut, and I'm here on Earth. As it would turn out, BMP-2 has already seen plenty of medical use here on Earth, everywhere from correcting bone deformities to spinal fusion surgery. And as researchers continue to work hard on those in-space applications, these treatments will likely become more streamlined and accessible for people here on Earth, much like the portable ultrasound. Although space might be dangerous, and my friends call me a loser for being scared of outer space, it's developments in technology like this that make me reconsider sometimes, what if I did go to space? And if absolutely nothing else, at least I could go up there knowing that my bones will probably be okay.